Wouldn't it be great to have a website that you could sell and actually get your business to grow and build on numerous levels without having to feel dirty and horrible and salesy? Well, you can do it. It's really simple. I'm going to give you the 2 or 3 quick tips right now to make your website be able to sell nicely for your business without feeling like it's selling. So let's just get a few things out of the way really quick. First and foremost, as health professionals and medical professionals, we primarily hate to sell. Everyone thinks that sometimes it's a little bit dirty. It's a little bit awkward. It doesn't quite feel right if I'm selling, there's that whole thing that we used to be taught primarily from private health funds and different associations that you shouldn't sell. We're meant to be helping people out and, we do the best thing, because there's always been this misnomer from a lot of those people and a lot of those organizations that if you are perceived to be selling, you're not actually doing the right thing by the client. Maybe you're over-servicing or giving them something they don't need, which ultimately, at the end of the day, is an absolute load of insert expletive here. What we need to understand is that we can absolutely sell. We can sell anything we want, as long as it's in the client's best interest and it's valid and it's backed up, etc. So obviously we're not going to sell anything. We're not going to be trying to sell ice to Eskimos, but we shouldn't fear the idea of selling, because the whole premise of being able to sell is we are in the business of health. We are trying to change lives. We are trying to have more empowerment, inspire people, change people's lives, give them exactly what they need to complete that rehab or to attain their goals or to get their blood pressure down, lose the weight, falls prevention and all of these different things. So fundamentally, we have to be able to sell. And if you can sell better, your business will be able to grow more, and you'll then be able to change more lives and have greater impact. So there's a few things. We need to make sure that we remember to obviously always be ethical and those things. We're not trying to sell someone, a new jumper because, they could, sweat more while they exercise, so therefore they'll lose weight. Let's be sensible about things. But ideally, we need to be comfortable with selling. And secondly, that people are actually coming to us because they want our expertise and our authority. They want us to be solution-driven and provide them with the best way for them to achieve their goals, whether that's a rehab goal, whether it's avoiding chronic disease, etc. It makes no difference. At the end of the day, they want us to be solution-based. We also must keep in mind that people love to buy. Jeffrey Gitomer taught the world that people love to buy. We just don't like to be sold to. It's like every time you walk into a branded surf shop or something like that, they want to come up and ask you, can I help you with anything? Are you looking for anything in particular? And we always want to push them away, and we want to try and, oh no, I'm just looking. No, I'm fine. It's like, leave me alone. But yet, why did you go there in the first place? Because ultimately you want to buy. You like to buy. I like to buy. You like to buy. We all do. We just don't like to be sold to. And so we've got to understand the mentality behind the whole selling process. And so if we look specifically at websites, there's a couple of things that I always find really, really interesting, particularly health professionals. And where health professionals get this wrong so many times over and over again. And the reason why this came up is because we were chatting with our Kaizen tribe earlier today, and we had a few people talking about their website, and a few of them are updating and tweaking a few things, which you should be doing regularly. And they actually flagged 2 or 3 of the biggest and most well-known, reputable companies in Australia to do with health. And it was actually quite interesting to actually look at the fact that they're obviously pushing pretty hard on the internet and the website, but fundamentally they're completely missing the point. And the point of it, and this is no criticism to those companies, certainly not going to name them or anything like that, because they're doing a great job in many respects. But when it comes to their website, they can definitely look to improve it, is what I'm saying. So here's the thing. People ultimately, at the end of the day, they don't care what you are. Right? You can be a physiotherapist, you can be a chiropractor, you can be an exercise physiologist, you can be a podiatrist. They don't actually care what you are. And we see health professionals all the time trying to explain what they are and how they can help. You know, we are a team of this, this, and this. We do this, we do that, we can do for you, etc. The challenge is that when we start to talk about what we are, and you know what, a great example is, say, exercise physiologists. A lot of them will do that. And, you know, associations of over the years have tried to direction people and say, you need to explain to people what you actually are and what you do. Well, here's the thing. No one actually cares what you do. They only care what's in it for them and how you can help them. They want a solution to their problem. They want you to be the solution to their problem. They don't care whether you have some fancy name. They don't, and ultimately what I'm trying to say is they don't care what you do. All right? So there's no use trying to explain what you do, you know, what you are, what distinguishes you different from someone else with a very similar name, right? It doesn't matter to them. No one cares. One of the best people that works with some of the most amazing companies around the world, you know, Microsoft and Ford and that, he's a guy by the name of Pete Quist, and he's a good friend of mine. And Pete, for decades, has been doing this globally. And he taught me, well, it'd be well over a decade ago, that at the end of the day, and I've got to, you know, put a shout out to him, Pete. I'll make sure you listen to this because I'm giving him some good street cred here, man. Pete always taught me that there was a thing called Wii FM, like the Nintendo Wii, WII-FM. It's like a radio station, right? Wii FM. And what it stands for is what's in it for me, right? That's all they care about. That's the number one thing you need to be able to help with on your website, first and foremost. You need to be able to answer that question. Wii FM, what's in it for me? Until you can actually answer that, and it's not that hard to do it, but as soon as you answer that, you will actually get a lot more traction. You're actually then being able to sell, and you're able to sell nicely and simply without feeling dirty, without hard sells, without lying, without trying to resort to this whole, you know, this is what we do. Because ultimately we know, I mean, Simon Sinek's been doing stuff for 15 years around why people make purchasing decisions, you know, how leaders lead, you know, where we actually make our, you know, cognitive thought process and decisions. You know, and we start to go, right, well, hang on a sec. If we actually have to now understand what actually happens with the brain based on a purchasing decision, you know, whether it's a neocortex or the limbic brain, etc., whether it's got any compassion for language and things like that, they're the words that Simon Sinek uses. He knows it. And so if your business website is telling people what you do, the example I used before, exercise physiology. If you're turning around saying, I'm an exercise physiologist and what I do is blah, 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 you've lost people straight away because we're not talking to the area of the brain that your potential clients make purchasing decisions from. And secondly, you're not following Pete's rule and that whole what's in it for me. Whatever you're talking about you and what you do, there's a total disconnect from what people are actually wanting, why they came and looked at your website in the first place, and there's no understanding of their brain's ability to actually make a decision. So unless you're amazing at flipping the tide really quick in other ways on a website, which basically can't happen, you're not going to get the cut through that you're actually wanting. So the first thing is go and look at your website and actually find out in the very first thing that they see on the very first part of the page, are you answering questions in their brain straight away of what's in it for them? You know, what's the solution? What do you help with? How can you be the solution to what they're looking for in those first 2 to 3 seconds? Because people's bounce back rates are absolutely crazily quick and fast. You know, we know this from social media with how, you've got to be able to ambush eyeballs in the first 2.6 seconds of like a Facebook ad. You know, we know this as well from our website. So first things first, go and have a look at your website. Go and have a look at some of your competitors, some of your colleagues in other states. Look at what different people are saying and doing and look at who's actually answering that question. What's in it for me? Who's solution-based, or who goes into the thing about this is who we are, this is what we do, this is how great we are, etc. You know, we can do. Change your language first and foremost. And then what you can do is start to have that discussion with them. They start to understand that you can be a solution to their needs. And as a net result, they will actually engage with you. The second part is, and I'm not going to talk about this at length, but I'll just give you a quick little snippet on the second big tip around this on your website is the fact that you need to get a lot smarter at being able to capture details and continue that conversation. Simply either going with no selling or call to actions is silly. But if you swing the pendulum to the other way and you try and force things down their throat and try and sell all these different programs, they'll also see you as a selling-based website. They're only here to sell. So you've got to get that happy medium between the pendulum being off at one end of not selling and not giving anyone a clear direction or a clear call to action, and going the other way of being too hard and overzealous in your pushing, etc. Right? So you've got to find that happy medium. And what I mean by that is you've got to be prepared to give little drip feeds of value away. You've got to be able to have lead magnets where they can grab the 2 top tips to stop your neck pain before 5 p.m. today. Random example I just thought of off the top of my head. But what are some of the other things you can do? The 3 ways to sustainably lose weight in the next 4 weeks. Maybe you've got a small little guide you can hand out. What are the things that you can actually give them without any type of financial or monetary reward for yourself that will actually get them involved, that they're happy to make a micro commitment, put their hand up, give you their name and their email address, for instance, so you can continue that conversation. You can do this with bots. You can do this on Messenger. We can do sell by chat. We even work with text messages and Voxes. We've been doing this for years. You can use emails. I mean, heck, they've been around for a while now. And we can have this completely automated, but have it exceptionally personalized. And we do this all the time. We've been doing this for 3 or 4 years now. So people actually get personal interactions. We keep the conversation going. We find out a lot more about them. And again, we built this once and it's all completely automated. So now we can be having all of these conversations with people and helping people out and providing value, but they are 100% sure and understanding that they are actually in a situation where they're getting the advice that they need. And fundamentally, it's about 90% automated. Very little touch points, very little time for you to do this, but you're providing value, and it also means that you can continue that conversation. And the more conversation you have, the more relationship that you can build, the more trust you get, the more value you can put forward, the more they start to like you and love you more. Once they know you, they like you, they love you, they trust you. When you get trust, they will be prepared to buy from you over and over again. So there's a really quick little snapshot, guys, of probably the 2 or 3 big mistakes that people are making in and around their websites. First of all, you're not getting that what's in it for me. We're trying to talk about what you do, and people don't care. They want you to be solution based and tell them and make them feel that you can help them and be the solution to their problems. Secondly, let's not go into the hard sell. Let's also make it clear that there's actions that they can take. Their logical next step is the following. We want to drip feed things, keep that conversation going. We want to systemize that and automate that so we're providing a huge amount of value, keeping the communication going, building that relationship and rapport, and getting more touch points in place, because most people take at least 5 to 7 inferences with you before they're willing to buy. The sooner you can do that, the sooner you've earned the respect to actually be able to then easily sell to them and move forward with that relationship and provide value and impact to their life. I'll talk to you again very soon. Hey guys, thank you very much for listening to another episode of the Profitable Practice Podcast. I would love nothing more than for you to be able to leave a review. I get so much joy out of listening and reading the amazing things that you guys say about this. So please subscribe to our channel, leave a review, and share it with your friends. Let's get some more fantastic information out there so all of us can grow the industry together. Cheers for now.